The best of Money Matters. The Big Story.
Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Hongbin Jeong. Tomorrow marks a highly anticipated moment as Finance Minister and Prime Minister Lawrence Wong delivers his first budget statement. Now, this year's budget is particularly significant as it is the final one before the next general election, and many are expecting a strong focus on economic strategies, job security, and cost of living support. Now, with Singapore's operating revenue surpassing estimates, analysts suggest that the government has room for a generous budget, potentially featuring cash transfers, enhanced support schemes, and even an SG60 bonus to mark the nation's 60th year of independence. But beyond the numbers, what does Budget 2025 mean for Singaporeans on a social level? How will it impact our daily lives from job security and upskilling to sustainability and business transformation? Well, to unpack all of this, joining us today is Tan Ern Ser, who is Adjunct Principal Research Fellow of IPS at the National University of Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Tan.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Professor, some say that this year's budget is likely to be a people-oriented budget. What does this mean, and do you hold the same view?
I think most people will think of it as an election budget. This is the time for the government to spread some goodwill
Right.
and making people happy. But on the other hand, I also believe that all budget should be people-oriented at all times, rather than, specifically only during election.
I see. Well, then what is the top concern among Singaporeans? What do Singaporeans want the most from this year's budget?
Well, I think the elephant in the room, as we know by now, right, is inflation, is cost of living, affordability of all sorts, like housing, like healthcare. And also, in addition to that, we're talking about retirement financial adequacy.
Right.
So broadly speaking, I would say that Singaporeans essentially want comfort and security. And whatever that can deliver comfort and security will always be welcome.
I see. So how could the budget help with alleviating these concerns?
I would say essentially more of what's already being done, right, so far, in terms of lowering cost of living, the CDC voucher and things like that, right? But I think in addition to that, I would say that people would like to have better support for retirement financial adequacy in terms of, the kind of low risk, deliver passive income to the CPF retirement account. I believe PM Wong will be talking more about this in his budget.
I see. Well, PM Wong has said that the budget 2025 will tackle cost of living concerns. What kind of help specifically can we expect, Professor?
So I hate to say, I think it's the usual help, but perhaps larger amount and longer duration, right? And apart from this would be your non-budget measures like sourcing for less expensive options, having the supermarkets to offer less expensive options too. So essentially the same thing, more vouchers, greater amount, and covering a longer period of time.
I see. Well, in 2015, Singapore celebrated 50 years of independence. The budget brought enhancements to the goods and services tax, voucher scheme, and MediSave top-ups. And later that year, all civil servants got an SG50 cash bonus. Could we see a similar SG60 bonus this year?
Well, it could be. I think it's nice the money coming in, right, into your bank account. So whether it's $50 or $100, right? But of course, I hope that there will be more, like a larger amount rather than just $50 as in the last cash bonus, right, given in 2015.
I see. Well, analysts also shared that it is unlikely to see significant tax rate hikes in Budget 2025 following tweaks in the last 2 years. Now, while rates may not be lowered either, rebates could be on the way. So, Professor, given that it is unlikely for any tax hikes, do you see or do you think that the rebates are enough to cover it?
Well, it's hard to say whether it can cover because I think there's always room for more, right? I would say that what we need really is rebates for the middle class. I think the upper class, the high-income people probably don't need it, but I think the middle class is quite squeezed and like more rebates for them.
Well, then what more could the government introduce aside from the potential rebates shared?
Yeah, I think I would say that, we have to look after the sandwich generation because these are the people who need to take care of seniors with longevity and young people with a long adolescence. So a lot of expenses in this regard. And so I would say more tax relief for taking care of dependents, both in the senior generation and in the younger generation.
I see. Well, observers also expect further investment in training and possible enhancements to the Skills Future framework. So how will the upcoming budget effectively help our workers, especially those in, lower range jobs, to help remain competitive in the current job market?
Yeah, I think what I hear is that I think workers or employees in general, right, they want more support for time off from work to go for courses, and maybe a more practical way to do it is also the support for in-house training programs.
I see. Well, then, do you foresee Budget 2025 to introduce additional incentives for employers to, provide more training and career progression opportunities for our workers?
Well, I mean, for sure, right? We need training designed to enhance productivity, and we need career progression to retain high-performing workers and to boost morale. I think so. These are both essential, right? Both for the organization and for the workers.
I see. Well, ahead of the budget as well, the finance ministry had invited Singaporeans to, share their views on what they would like to see in the next budget. And this included seeking feedback on how to support Singaporeans across different life stages. So, Professor, what can we expect from the budget in these areas?
Well, I think more on the baby bonus, infant care. In the past, we talked about childcare, but now we talk about infant care as well. So infant care, childcare, and caregiving support for seniors. And in addition to this, the usual thing, but I think probably in terms of magnitude, we need more preschool fees and lower healthcare costs, and as well as more for the silver support scheme for seniors. So these will take care of all the way, right, from infant to seniors.
I see. Well, Budget 2025 is the fifth and final one for the current term, with the next general election to be held before November. Now, some watchers expect an election budget with a feel-good factor. And earlier in this conversation, Professor, you also said that this is an election budget. So how much could this budget weigh on the next general election?
Well, first of all, I certainly hope they deliver some significant good news, And I would say that it's important to strengthen, how it weighs on the next general election will be in terms of how it strengthens confidence in the government and also how we can make the current problems that afflicting us history that is gone, hopefully by, say, the middle of the next term, right? And the government could return to talking about track record again, right? I mean, this is what the government's legitimacy is based on, right? Track record. And I hope that it can return back to talking about track record again.
I see. And before we let you go here, Professor, what's on your budget wish list? What do you wish to see being addressed in this year's budget?
Okay, for me personally, I would like to see retirement financial adequacy. I would like to see lower healthcare costs, not just hospitalization, etc., but including for recurring medication. And finally, I mean, not just always talking about getting money, right, but also facilitating seniors to remain in employment, whether through some kind of support for employers and also training and so on and so forth.
I see. Well, thank you so much for your time and your insights today, Professor.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was Tan Ern Ser, who is the Adjunct Principal Research Fellow IPS at the National University of Singapore. This has been The Big Story with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.